When people talk about social selling, they usually mean using the big public social networks like Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn to find potential customers and turn these into sales leads. These networks are an ideal place to do this because they provide a massive ready-made audience. For very simple sales processes, typical of business-to-consumer selling, this may be sufficient as a sole means of social selling. But business-to-business selling has a far more complex sales cycle with a lot more people involved and much more complex relationships between them. Finding leads is just the tip of the iceberg, and as everyone knows, 90% of an iceberg is below water. So it is in B2B selling. Twitter and LinkedIn are valuable sources of leads, but they don't provide the right environment for collaboration throughout the sales cycle. Let's consider a typical B2B sales cycle as having 8 stages: prospecting, sales lead, needs assessment, presentation, handling objections, proposal, negotiation and closing, and after-sales service. Public social networks are good for the first 2.5 stages: prospecting, lead identification, and basic needs assessment, but they provide little support for the later stages. To work socially on the below-water steps of the sales process, you need a business-focused enterprise social network. Typical applications of enterprise social networks to support sales teams include a private, secure environment for teams from both sides to discuss the customer's needs. As negotiations progress, new participants from either the buyer or the seller can be invited in and quickly catch up on the current status of the deal. A place to post presentation and reference material and host follow-up discussion. A single source of truth for discussions instead of fragmenting conversations between different people's email inboxes. A full version history for the proposed contract and any amendments. When the sales process is complete and the deal is closed, an enterprise social network is also an ideal way of providing ongoing after-sales service. The number of people involved at both the buyer and the seller is likely to increase further. More relationships are formed, more discussions take place, so it becomes increasingly important to provide an appropriate forum for these people to work together. Enterprise social networks also provide a great way of connecting the sales team inside an organization, enabling them to share information and best practices between themselves more effectively. Indeed, it's often inside the company that the first steps into social business are taken, before applying these principles outside the company. A common first step in extending outside the organization is to engage with selling partners in a social network to share knowledge between the sales team and partner organizations. So social business networking can increase the effectiveness of sales teams across the whole sales process and into post-sales account management, extending far beyond the reach of public social media and enabling social engagement between employees, partners, prospects and customers.